Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Spin Tires on the map Trials and Tribulations, and where we last left off, we ended up rolling the log trailer, which I was a little bit upset about. And I'll tell you why. I was a little bit upset about it because I was really, really close to that objective, and I feel like what ended up happening with that trailer was kind of like, it was one of those things where you look at it and you go, really? Like, really, dude? So in this episode, I decided I was going to take a little bit of a new approach, and I was going to attach the big trailer, like the massive trailer that comes with this truck specifically, the garage trailer, and tow it to the garage on the other corner of the map where the lumber area is, so I would have a much better base of operations to work from. And then I decided to go to some of the other objectives, which you'll see in the coming episodes, because some of those objectives are very, very difficult. Like, one of them is pretty easy, the other one is extremely difficult, and I'm not sure, I'll go ahead and tell you guys right now, like, and you'll see in that episode that's coming, I'm not there, the objective on the top of the hill is absolutely ridiculous to get to. I'm not sure if it's even possible in a big semi like this. I mean, you may need to just kind of, you know, take small loads of lumber up and down the hill in small trucks, because that may possibly be the only thing that can get up there. This thing, so far, I haven't been able to get it up there, but we'll see, or you guys will see the process of that in a couple episodes. But regardless, I'm going to go ahead and get onto the actual hauling of the garage trailer. Now, the only weird thing about this particular truck and trailer combo is that if you mess up the angle at all, the trailer disconnects. It's actually a lot more willing to just disconnect than the log trailer is. The log trailer will hold on pretty tight. This one, you mess up the angle, boom, it disconnects. So there was a couple times on this run where I accidentally just disconnected the trailer, and that can be a little bit annoying because you're like, what do I do now? And you're kind of stuck because your trailer's just sitting there, and your truck is free to move, but your trailer is sitting there, and you're like, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna try and figure it out as I go along. And as you'll see, we did figure out a way to get around the fact that the trailer did come undone. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, we got it there to the garage. So for all intents and purposes, we got it there. We may not have gotten it there in the most orthodox way, but we definitely got it there. So that's kind of all that matters, I think. And this is actually the first time, the very, very first time that I ever high-centered this truck. There haven't been any other areas that I've high-centered this truck. I mean, I'm pretty careful about where I take it, so I'm sure it would have high-centered had I took it somewhere, you know, crazy, like some rock crawling trail or something. I mean, it's not invincible. It's a massively long wheelbase Kenworth, so again, like I said, it's not like it's some sort of invincible monster truck. But this section was kind of scary because like there's so much of like an angle to it, and you're like, please just don't tip over. Please just don't tip over. And the mindset ends up being, let me get through here as fast as possible in hopes that the trailer doesn't flip. I mean, that really does end up becoming the mindset that you have, and you're like, well, there's nothing much else I could do with that. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not the most inviting stretch of road, but for people that like a challenge, I think it is pretty inviting. At least for me, I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun. I always like, you know, taking these big trucks down really narrow, kind of cliff edge roads in Spin Tires, because you don't really get that a lot in a lot of maps anymore. It's not a lot of that format. It's more rocks and mud. You get some trails too, but the trails that you usually get are down like a valley. They follow a valley. And you don't really get these cliff edge roads anymore, but they're super fun because they're so tense. You're always so tense about, like, and you got to stay relaxed, but the overall mood is very tense because you're like, I just don't want to fall off. That's the last thing that you want to happen. There's the old log trailer that we dumped the lumber out of by accident, of course, and it's actually kind of funny. It's a little bit more frustrating even when you think about how close we were to the objective, and it's still dumped out. So I was like, really, guys? Like, really? Come on. You're gonna be like that? You're gonna be like that? Come on. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, dude, it's like one of those things you have to think, man, just don't put the truck in high next time when the going gets really, really bumpy. Maybe don't put it in high range next time. But I think also, too, what kind of got me with that trailer was I was starting to think, well, we're super close, no big deal. All we got to do is just, put it in high and just cruise right on there. I didn't see the dip, which that also kind of makes a point out of the fact that if you don't know a stretch of road, take it a little slow. If you don't know a stretch of road, take it a little slow. It's like if you know it and you know where you can go fast and you know where you have to slow down, that's one thing. But if you don't know the road entirely, and you've never been on it before, take it a little bit slow and figure it out. I mean, and that applies to spin tires. That applies to, hell, that applies to driving a sports car down a back road in real life. Like, if you don't know the road, take it a little slow. Learn it first. But we're pretty much past the really tricky areas. This part, actually, it's funny. With the log trailer coming down it originally, I safety winched. With this, I kind of just decided to put it in high and go. Because I was like, man, and then the trailer did something really weird. It actually caught and pulled off towards the back. That's really rare. I've never had a trailer on this truck do that before. I've had trailers come off if you jackknife them too hard. I've had trailers come off if you twist them up really bad. But I've never had a trailer just get hooked on something and just completely come undone, just straight from the back, like whoop, right off the back of the truck. I've never had that happen before with this particular truck, and I was kind of surprised about it because it's like, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, did that? It's like, come on, did that really just happen? Like now I gotta like, get all finicky with the trailer to try to get it back to where I can attach it to the truck again. And I'll go ahead and give you guys just a little bit of a spoiler about this. I didn't actually end up reattaching it to the truck until I got a lot further down the road. I got really frustrated with the trailer and was just like, you know what? I'm just going to pull it with the winch cable and just tug it as far as I can until I can reattach it. And that's what I ended up doing. And you know what? It worked. It actually worked. And I was really, really, really surprised that it worked, actually, but it did. And real quick, I do want to clear up something about Spin Tires itself. I really want to do multiplayer on this map. We're going to try and film multiplayer on this map very, very soon with Jeep Guy. But Jeep Guy has been doing a bunch of other stuff lately. He's been kind of busy sleeping, but no, he's been doing a bunch of other stuff, and I can't fault him for that. I get it. He's in college now, and doing a bunch of his own stuff, but once we get a chance to play together on Spin Tires again, we are coming back here to this map, and we're going to be tackling the hardest objective that we possibly can, and see if we can either make it, or if we just completely wreck both of our trucks, because one or the other is going to happen. Both will be entertaining on video, so that's going to be a fun time, a really interesting fun time. Also, the snow mod, I will get that out to you guys before you guys will see the snow mod in Spin Tires 1 before Mud Runner comes out. I promise you that. I promise you guys that you will see that mod being played in Spin Tires before Mud Runner comes out. The only reason why I've had some issues getting that out to you guys is because everything that you've seen pretty much for the past week has been pre-recorded, because I'm actually, as you guys watch this, I'm in the UK, but I wasn't able to get the mod to work before, to work completely properly before I left. And anyway, once I get back, as you're seeing this, it'll be a few days before I get back. So in a few days, I'll be back, and I'm going to try and film the snow mod, get it up on the channel for you guys, and let you guys enjoy it. Because Super Scott really did an absolutely incredible job with it. I mean, he did a job that I look at and go, whoa, that's nuts. I look at it and I just go, whoa, dude, that is insane, and that is awesome, and it's like, oh my god, I just want to do, like, I just want to be that good at making mods. I mean, I don't even make mods, but, like, people like Super Scott make me look at their mods and go, like, oh my god. There's something just so crazy about being able to make mods the way that he does. It's, like, make maps and mods and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, Dirt Time is still a masterpiece, and I still consider it as such. And, you know, being able to make maps like that, I mean, the amount of time that you have to put in for that is so insane. It's just like, man, I don't know, dude. It's just like the dedication to some of those mods that he makes is ridiculous. It's absolutely wonderful, and it's freaking ridiculous how much time and dedication he puts into it, and I can't thank him enough for how supportive he's been with keeping in touch with me, and sending me, you know, builds of the mods as they've, you know, as he's been working on them. I can't thank him enough for that, dude. I mean, the dude really is a legit guy, and I appreciate all the support that he's given me through getting me all these mods as quickly as he releases them. So once I get back, I will be able to show you guys so many of his new mods. It's gonna be crazy, and you guys are gonna really enjoy it, I think. So we're about to get to the objective now, and there's one thing, and I actually kind of cut this part down at the at the end. I cut this part down a little bit into different sections because I was like, man, they didn't want to see me fiddling around with the trailer again. So, long story short, we're going down the hill, just having a good time. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cruise up onto the, you know, paved area, and it's going to be just fine. Little did I know, that lip down there is low enough to the point where the truck will crash and the trailer will come off. So, you end up having to fiddle with the trailer again. And it's just one of those things where you're like, man, I've about had it with this thing, and you're like, dude, you get frustrated. You're like, I've about had it with this thing, I want to drive something else, but when you eventually get it to the garage, you're like, okay, thank God I don't have to pull that anymore. You really are. You're like, thank God I don't have to pull that thing anymore. I'm not interested in pulling that thing anymore. That's not what I signed up for. I just wanted to pull a trailer. I didn't want to have the trailer come off everywhere. And honestly, when you sign up to pull a trailer, there is a possibility that it could come off. At least when you sign up to pull a trailer in Spin Tires. Well, if you sign up to pull a trailer for anything, I guess. But there is a possibility that it could come off. But I was able to get a little bit crafty with the winch to get it to get the trailer lined up where I wanted it. And once I got it lined up where I wanted it, I was like, okay, this works. This is gonna work. It'll be just fine. And I was able to pull it down just a little bit more, a little bit closer to the concrete pad, and get it hooked up and get it, you know, unloaded, good to go. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Spin Tires on the Trials and Tribulations map, in the next episode, we'll be back to logging. We're going to go ahead and head across the river and through the mud to another objective, which I haven't explored yet at all, so that'll be really fun. But, again, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments down below what y'all thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.